Hey there, it's Casey Dubin here from TaxSaleAcademy.com, and today we're going to be answering Becca's question, which was, what is the purpose of a QT lawsuit? And by QT, she's talking about a quiet title lawsuit. So I told the story last week about the first auction that I attended where I purchased some properties. Then after that auction, somebody approached me and said, are you going to do a quiet title lawsuit against those properties? That was the first time I've heard this term. I remember thinking to myself at the time that it was a quiet lawsuit of sorts, and I had no idea what the heck that meant besides something we quietly filed and hoped that nobody found out about. I was completely clueless. So Becca, fantastic question. It's something that a lot of beginners fail to understand. First off, I am not an attorney and I'm not offering legal advice. So there is my required disclaimer, okay? So a quiet title lawsuit, or a suit to quiet title, depending on who's discussing it and how they refer to it, is a lawsuit to establish complete ownership of a parcel of real estate. So when you research the history of a parcel of real estate, you're gonna have something called a chain of title. Just picture a chain. Essentially, you have one owner who will pass it to the next owner, who then will pass it to the next owner as the property sells. In the perfect world, everyone signs all the documents like they're supposed to. Everything's gonna be correct, right? Just look like a chain and be absolutely seamless. One property owner to the next. Now, title insurance is an insurance policy issued to protect a buyer or lender against any defects in that chain of title. So keep that in mind. Basically, the insurance company says, yes, everything is perfect with that chain of title, and it flows from one person to the next just like it should. Now, that's the simple side of things. What happens, though, is that this is not the perfect world, and it does not usually operate like that. There are going to be liens, encumbrances, lawsuits, foreclosures, forgotten people, missing people, dead people, among lots and lots of other things that can really complicate the whole process. Now, there are numerous ways that we can apply a suit to quiet title in a non-tax sale related manner, but since this is the Tax Sale Academy's YouTube channel, I want to look at it from that perspective. So when a piece of property will go through a tax foreclosure, that chain of title is going to be broken by that foreclosure because it's not going to be flowing directly from one property owner to the next. Instead, you have a property owner who loses that property through the foreclosure, which is a special process required by state statute. Now, that process is a complicated process. So what happens is most title companies will see tax faulted real estate as being too risky to insure. So they won't issue title insurance for the property right after the tax sale auction, right out of the gate. They won't issue it. Now, there's a few different things that you can do to deal with this issue. But since you asked about quiet title lawsuits, we're going to take that angle. What you would do is you bring a quiet title lawsuit, which should be handled by an attorney, against the property and anyone who could claim ownership in that property, any interest whatsoever. So in this case, the defaulting taxpayer, any of their heirs, any of the deceased people that could have the potential to claim an ownership interest, anyone that has a lien against it, literally anybody that could claim any sort of interest in that property. They'd be served notice along with a chance to argue their case, and then the judge would make decisions. It's an actual case in front of a judge. It's important to note that in most states, it's going to be just a formality to offer the chance for a response, since overturning a tax sale can be highly likely in most states. And now after all this is complete, the judge will sign off on that final judgment. When successful, and once that judge signs off, he's granting you, the plaintiff, the suitor, the investor, the right to that property as a sole and complete owner. This will allow you to get title insurance to sell the property or do whatever else you want to with it, such as perhaps do a refinance. So that's a quiet title lawsuit in a nutshell. There are obviously lots of other things that are involved in this process, but hopefully this has helped provide a little bit of information about learning how quiet title lawsuits affect tax sale real estate. Now, depending on your comfort level, it might be a good idea to sit down with a local real estate attorney and simply ask them about tax sales, suit to quiet titles, and everything else involved, especially around the chain of title, which is where they can help you out the most. While it won't likely help you from an investment perspective or a strategy perspective, it'll definitely help you to get a grasp on the legal side of things. So again, hopefully this helps you out. If you have another question, or if anybody else watching this video has a question, feel free to leave it down below in the comments. If you'd like to learn more about investing in tax faulted real estate, head on over to my website, taxselacademy.com. You can grab my book right here, Tax Sale Playbook. The book itself is free. Just help us cover the nominal shipping costs to get it from our warehouse to your front door. Or if you're ready to go all in right now and take our step-by-step comprehensive training, click on that join button and become a member of the Academy. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.